now, noodling around, doing my other favorite hobby. It's funny, right now, after 12 months of hardly any precipitation, it's too wet outside to work in the garden. So we're going to cook instead. Today I'm going to do another eggy dish, quiche. We're going to do a spinach and mushroom quiche, but quiche doesn't just have to be one kind. It's actually one of the most flexible dishes you can imagine. You got eggs, you got milk and cheese. You can mix in all kinds of things with that. You can change the kinds of cheese. Today we'll be using, like I said, mushroom, spinach, and Monterey Jack. But you could also try leftover taco meat, some sliced jalapenos, and cheddar cheese. My mom used to make a really great one with diced green chilies, Swiss cheese, and a little bit of white wine substituted for the milk. So get creative with it. It's a great dish to play with. It's also a two-for recipe. You're going to end up with 2 pies, so you're going to need 2 pie tins. I don't know why, but it's just hard to make quiche one at a time than it is 2 at a time. Which is fine, because you got one eat now and one put in the freezer. They freeze really well. Bring out for brunch or potluck or whatever later. Anyway, let's get off to the kitchen and get busy.
Here's the recipe for today. First, we're going to saute our chopped onion and a can of mushrooms with a little bit of oil in a pan. You can salt it a little bit if you like. Just saute it down until all the moisture has evaporated. Next, we get a mixing bowl and we crack our eggs into it. Give it a good whisk until they're well beaten. Just trying to give you a better view. Next, we'll add our 2 cups of milk and then a tablespoon of flour. We're going to whisk that mixture again until it's well beaten. Want to make sure all the lumps are out, everything's well combined. Add a little salt. Maybe a lot of salt. Depends on your taste. Me, I take a pill so I can eat lots of salt. Little dab accent always helps. There's our 1.5 cups of grated Monterey Jack cheese. You can always eat some. That's the privilege of being a cook. You get to sample things. Go ahead and add half of our mushroom and onion mixture. I usually save the other half to use in an omelet the next day. If you don't want to end up with leftovers, you could use a smaller can of mushrooms and a smaller piece of onion. But I don't mind having sauteed mushrooms left over. Then I'll put a 1/2 can of spinach, well drained. We're going to mix that all together real well. Want to make sure you break up all those chunks of spinach so that they're spread throughout the mixture evenly. We're going to use 2 pie crusts, which I've pre-cooked in the oven at 450 degrees for 10 minutes. You just want to cook them slightly so that they'll be just right when they come out with the quiche. You can use frozen or make your own. It's the same either way, just pre-cook them 10 minutes at 450. We add our mixture to one pie shell. Make sure you don't have too much liquid in one and all the good parts in the other. Make sure everything's kind of evenly distributed. You might have to go back and forth a little bit. Get our second pie crust. Put the rest in there. We're going to put these guys in a 325 oven for about an hour. It may vary with your oven, but for me it took about 60 minutes. Here we go. Gotta be careful, they're sloppy at this point. After they look like they're done, they should start to swell up around the edges and slightly in the middle. The real trick is to make sure the middle is completely cooked. It should be browning just a little bit on top. Like I said, it should puff up a little bit. And the way you test it is with a knife or a fork or a toothpick. Just kind of poke around in the top of the pie where there's not any cheese, and if it comes out dry, you know the egg milk mixture is well cooked. Me, I turn on the oven light and sit there on my hands and knees and stare at it for about 30 minutes. I like to watch my food cook. My wife thinks it's very strange. Here we go. Give it the toothpick test. Oop, got a little bit of jack cheese. Well, we'll just eat that. You can always use your finger, make sure it's kind of firm, evenly firm all the way around. Once you're sure they're done, just leave them there to cool for about 15 or 20 minutes, and you want to serve it while it's still warm. That's it. I hope you enjoyed making a quiche. Come back next time, we'll have another recipe for you. This is Benjamin for the Hardscrabble Gourmet.